Stampers, it's Tara from Tara's Homemade Happiness. I had made this card and posted a picture of it on my Facebook page last weekend and got a few responses asking about how I had made this because I made reference to the Stamparatus and how easy it was to make this card. So I have recreated this card with a different sentiment and some different colors, and I'm going to show you guys how I made this today. So to start with, we are using the Stamparatus. I'm only going to use one magnet because if you get the two magnets close together, they will magnetic to each other, like slam together, and often break. So I always keep one stored directly on the back and one that I use for projects. You can use two, you just have to be very careful about that. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm just going to move some stuff here. First thing I'm going to do is get our stamp from Seriously the Best. This is on the retiring list, and I highly recommend it. I love this stamp set. So we're going to get out the thanks stamp, and we're going to put it here. Now, one tip I do say with the Stamparatus is I find if you go right in the corner, it doesn't squish enough to give you a really nice crisp image. So I tend to avoid shoving my paper right up in the corner, and I kind of keep it lower. Now where I've already made this card before, I have little pencil marks showing me where my paper needs to go because I was switching out my papers and making multiple of these at the same time, and I wanted to make sure I got my paper in the exact same spot every time. So I have like myself just a little grid mark that I've added so that I know that's where I need to add my paper back on each time. Okay, so here we go. My paper is in there. I am going to now put my stamp exactly where I want it to go on this paper. So I want it to go right about there. You'll notice I don't have the sticker on my stamp. I got used to not putting the stickers on mine because I found they stuck to the block much better without them. Then they've changed them to the new cling ones, and I'm a little bit scared of adding it to it because I often leave my stamps stuck to the clear blocks. And if you leave them on too long, they will adhere like a permanent to it. So I have just stuck with the not needing the sticker on the back. All right, so I'm going to start with this color, which is Night of Navy. Just going to ink it up and then close my door and give it a little push. And there's my image stamped. Now I want to make two of these cards at the same time, so I'm going to take this piece of paper out, set it off to the side, and put my second piece of paper in. And because I have those lines there, I know exactly where my paper needs to be so that my stamp is going to be in the same spot as it was on this one. I'm going to re-ink it up with the same color, Night of Navy, and close my door. And there's my second one. Now this S didn't quite stamp all the way. There's a little bit of white in it. I want to fix that. So I'm just going to add a little bit more ink to my S. Flip this closed again because it's going to land in the exact same spot, and to fix that error. Looks much better. Okay. Now I'm done with that color, so I'm going to close it up because I'm notorious for setting my projects in my ink. I'm going to come in with my chamois and clean this off. Then I'm going to, oh, I didn't actually need to take that one out. Sorry. Then I'm going to put that back in. And I'm going to start with the next color. So my next color is going to be Pacific Point. I was just trying to figure out what this light was on my Stamparatus, but it's the reflection from my light fixture up top. It's kind of funny. Okay. Oh, this is what you do not want to do. So now this time, I'm going to take my Stamparatus plate out of the hinges and just move it down one set and then snap it back in. And that is now going to line that perfectly up. So it's going to stamp directly underneath my last one. Okay, then I'm going to take that paper out, swap it for my next piece, So see how easy this could be for mass producing, especially if you were using like all the same color, but even like you could make 5 or 6 of these at the same time and it would go super quick and super smooth. Okay, these magnets are super, super strong. All right, I'm gonna ink this guy up. This ink pad's super juicy. Close it. And then I'm gonna leave this one in because I'm gonna start with my next color after I clean this off. The chamois makes for such a quick cleanup on this project. Okay, and then I'm gonna shuffle that down so I don't forget to the next hinged spot. This time we're using Balmy Blue. Pick it up, flip it closed. Switch it out for the next one. Ink it up again. Flip it closed. Now this one, I again don't love how it's stamped. It's going to dry a little better, but I think I'm just going to add a little more ink on that and hope that it maybe makes it look a little, oh yeah, that looks way better already. Okay. Oh, I can leave that one in because I'm going to do the next color. So we'll do the next color. Oops, that shuffled a little bit when I put it in. Fix that. You want to make sure your paper is always in the right place so that it works well. I'm going to move this down so I don't forget. Close my ink so that I don't stick my hand in it. And clean off my stamp. Okay, this time we're using we're using Bermuda Bay. Baja Breeze is like a really old retired color. I did really love that one though. Flip it closed, give it a squish. Again, this one didn't stamp as beautiful as I would have liked, so I'm gonna go back and just give it a little bit more. How many times have you had to throw out a project because you stamped and it just didn't look right and you knew there was no way, especially with the rubber stamps, that you were going to get that lined up just perfectly again? And I know we've all tried it. We're like, oh no, this time's going to be the time that this works for me, and it never does. So this is a lifesaver for that. Close it. Let's get this one. This is one of my most used colors, so my ink pad is actually really dry. It definitely needs some re-inker on it. I use Bermuda Bay a lot. Okay, last color coming up, we're going to use Pool Party. I'm going to clean this off. Just make sure when you're cleaning it off that you're not shimmying your stamp too much so that you're going to make it move out of its placement. And then come in with your Pool Party ink. Stamp. Bring my other one in. Pool Party ink. And stamp. That one, I'm not loving that one. I'm going to do that one a little bit more. And done. Okay. Now close up my ink one last time. Give this a clean one last time. Take out my finished product. I'm going to set this off to the side. I've just got to assemble my cards now. This was, in case you're wondering, this was how I figured out what colors I wanted to use. I pulled out all the blues that I had and stamped them and then decided which ones. So initially I had thought that I wanted to use the Cabana, but then I realized that it was just a little bit too close to this one and I wanted more of a contrast. So I skipped this color. I also did it on the back with the greens just to see the variety that I could do. So you could do this with any color. There's lots of different combinations and I thought that it looked cool just to do it real quick by hand. I didn't worry about my spacing. I just wanted to see what those colors were going to look like when I stamped them out. So that's just a quick tip on how to figure out what colors you want to use. And then I've actually found some different pattern paper this time. So on this one, I used those nice stripies from the nautical set. And then I have this paper and I thought this was like the ugliest pack in the world. I don't know why. It just did not suit me. But I had done a paper share and got a few pieces of it. But when I cut it down and just made little strips on the Night of Navy paper, I thought, oh, that's actually really, really pretty. So I love how something that you don't think you'll ever use actually turns out to be something that you really like. And then this is out of the Crafters set there. And just that little piece. Like so. So I'm going to put one of these on this and one of these on this. And I actually went ahead and last night I was using my embossing and I always emboss more than one because I never know if one's going to turn out right. So last night I just kind of went to town and I stamped it a whole bunch of times in Versamark and filled it full of white. And if you do them like this and you're kind of space them, then you can get these strips really easily from it. So if you know you're going to be mass producing, it is totally worth your while to take the extra time when you're doing something like heat embossing and make multiples, because I find that it just speeds everything up. And now look, I've got 2 strips, perfect for my cards right there. Okay, let's put these together now. So these are really simple to put together. I'm simply going to put a strip of adhesive on the back of each one of those strips. And I'm just going to pull it in a touch from the side. Whoops. Line it up with the bottom and then straight up. Same with this one. Line it up with the bottom. And I'm just eyeballing how far it is from the edge. I'm not measuring or anything. And then I'm going to put this piece on. I've also made these really flat cards because I find lately, more so than ever, I've been mailing cards a lot. And I realize that the more dimension I put on them, the harder it is for them to go through that mail. And they don't always arrive in pristine shape if you put a lot of embellishments and or dimension on them. So I've been trying really hard. Oh, that's not quite straight on there. I might just have to trim it. I've been trying really hard to avoid putting a lot of bulk on my cards lately and to keep them as flat as possible. So if I do add dimension, it's just one level and not too high up. So this one, I just did everything flat on it. Stick that right there. So there's one done. Here's my second one. Oops, and I have a whole bunch of people that I know that are graduating this year. So my congrats cards I had made with some people in mind because I feel like they really need that extra little perk this year. So sending them something in the mail, because who doesn't love getting happy mail, is just hopefully going to be my way of giving them a little extra. Okay, stick that on. Again, we're going to put that middle piece on. And then our embellishment right in the middle with our embossed sentiment. Right. And there's 2 cards done just like that. There's my original thank you. So you can see how by just changing out the pattern paper and my colors, I'm really able to make this card pop. I don't even know which one's my favorite. I think I like them all. Although my original with the congrats and the rainbow, I still feel like speaks to me. Well, thanks for watching. If you would subscribe and like this video, that would be wonderful. And if you need to purchase any Stampin' Up! Products and you live within Canada and don't have a demonstrator, I would love for you to check out homemadehappiness.stampitout.net. Thanks for watching.